Hello, I'm Oliver Colling, and this is the My 70s TV Childhood Quiz. Hello, and welcome back to what is the 20th episode of our 1970s TV-related quiz. That means that by the end of this episode, we'll have had a grand total of 420 questions, including bonus questions, over the time we've been running the quiz, which is really starting to mount up. If you listen to all of our quizzes to date, then well done on your stamina. And if this is your first time of listening, you're very welcome. Our quiz is pretty straightforward, really. We have 4 rounds of 5 questions each, aimed at testing your knowledge of 1970s UK TV and some of the things we've featured over the 5 seasons of the My 70s TV Childhood podcast. It's just for fun, so why don't you grab a pen and paper, top up your favourite beverage, it's a cup of tea for me again this week, and let's get down to business with round 1. And this week, we're reprising, well, we're doing it again anyway, our Odd One Out round, which many of you liked when we introduced it in our last quiz. So, here we go. Question 1. Which of these was not a character in Dad's Army? Was it A, Private Cheeseman, B, Private Bacon, or C, Private Sponge? Question 2. Which of these TV shows was not the most watched TV show of the year during the 1970s? So which of these was not in one of the years of the 1970s the top-rated TV show? A, The Raw Variety Performance, B, Some Mothers Do Have 'Em, or C, The Benny Hill Show? Question 3. One of these presenters was not a BBC newsreader in the 1970s. Can you tell me which one? A, Richard Whitmore, B, Gordon Honeycomb, or C, Robert Dougal? Question 4. Which of these shows was not an ITV children's show featuring performances from pop musicians of the time? Was it A, Shangalang, B, Get It Together, or C, Cheggers Plays Pop? So which of them wasn't an ITV children's music show? And question 5. Which one of these fictional pubs didn't feature in Coronation Street? A, The Rover's Return, B, The Goat and Compasses, or C, The Flying Horse? So which of those 3 didn't feature in Coronation Street? How's that? Hopefully a reasonably gentle introduction to the quiz. And let's move on to round 2. So this round is our marathon or Fil Rouge round, so called in honour of It's a Knockout and its European cousin Jeux Sans Frontières. And this round contains questions based upon the things that we've covered over the 100-odd episodes of our podcast over the last 5 seasons. Don't worry if you haven't yet listened to every episode, and if not, why not? You should be able to make a reasonable guess at most of these. So here we go. Question 1. In our recent episode featuring the Sweeney, we mentioned that the pilot episode appeared as a one-off story in the Armchair Theatre series. What was the one-off pilot called? Question 2. Now, I've mentioned this a few times in different podcasts, but my family finally got a colour television in 1977. What event made my parents change from black and white to colour? Question 3. In February 2024, we look back at The Mr. Men. Who was the original narrator for the Mr. Men series? Question 4. Our 2023 Christmas Special Edition was called What Did I Miss in 1976? And I looked back at the TV schedules to see which TV shows I hadn't been able to watch that year. But why was it that I didn't watch any television that Christmas? Question 5. Still, back in 2023, we featured Secret Army in an episode. Now, for those of you who remember, that show was pretty grim at times and featured life in Belgium under Nazi occupation and the resistance. But rather surprisingly, it inspired one of the most popular comedy shows of the 1980s. Which one? So which popular comedy show of 1980s was inspired by Secret Army? And we're halfway through already. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? So now on to what seems to be our most popular round, based on the messages I've had from listeners. This is our Spin the Wheel and Name That Tune mashup combo round, which sounds incredibly exciting, doesn't it? Well, this is how it works. So firstly, I spin our specially constructed at vast expense Wheel of Fate, which will give me a year from the 1970s. I will then input that year into our AI-powered theme tune generator, which will give me a selection of theme tunes from TV shows which were first shown on UK TV that year. Get the theme tune right, and you get a point. And what do points make?
Prizes?
They do indeed. So let's get cracking and spin the wheel. And it's landed on 1973. Very Life on Mars. Okay, let's feed 1973 into the AI theme tune generator and see what we get. Right, let's play theme tune 1.
Barnaby the bear's my name. Never call me Jack or James. I will sing my way to fame. Barnaby the bear's my name. Birds taught me to sing when they took me to their king. First I had to fly in the sky so high, so high, so high, so high, so high. So if you want to sing this way, think of what you'd like to say. Add a tune and you will see just how easy it can be. Treacle pudding, fish and chips, fizzy drinks and licorice, flowers, rivers, sand and sea, snowflakes and the stars are free. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. So Barnaby the bear's my name. Never call me Jack or James. I will sing my way to fame. Barnaby the bear's my name.
Look, that's so easy that if you didn't get it, I will be worried. And on to theme tune 2. And theme 3.
This is the story of
Now for that one, I need the original name of the show and not the one it turned into in future series, so that's a bit of a clue there for you. And on to theme tune 4. And finally, what is this theme for number 5? Quite an interesting mix there, I think. And we're on to the last round already. And this is our TV Times round, where anything goes on the 70s TV trivia front. Question 1. Who ate blue string pudding? Question 2. In the US TV show Chips, what does CHIPS stand for? Question 3. Which popular TV character's catchphrase was Magic R. Morris? Question 4. Who played the title roles in Macmillan and Wife? So who were Macmillan and Wife? And finally, still on the detective theme, question 5. Who played the insurance agent with a crime-solving sideline in Banachek? So who was Banachek? And that's the end of our questions for this time's quiz. So while you're checking your answers, let's take a look at last time's bonus question. Spooner's Patch was a fairly, well in my opinion anyway, dreadful sitcom created by Ray Galton and Johnny Spate. But what was Spooner's profession in the show? And the answer was, he was a police inspector. So well done if you got that right. So what's this week's bonus question, I hear you ask? Well, it's a reasonably simple one. In what month of what year was the first episode of The Good Life broadcast? So when was the first episode of The Good Life broadcast? If you know the answer, then drop me a line to quiz@my70stvchildhood.com. You can also get in touch via our blog at www.my70stvchildhood.com or by leaving a post on one of our many social media sites. All right, well, let's get down to the answers for this time's quiz. Our first round, odd one out. Which of these was not a character in Dad's Army? A. Private Cheeseman, B. Private Bacon, or C. Private Sponge? It was B. Private Bacon. Question 2. Which of these TV shows was not the highest rated TV show of a year during the 1970s? A. The Raw Variety Performance, B. Some Mothers Do Have 'Em, or C. The Benny Hill Show? And the answer was B. Some Mothers Do Have 'Em. And interesting enough, the Benny Hill Show topped the ratings in a number of years in the 1970s, and when it didn't top it in the first half of the 70s, it was second or third. Things have changed a bit, haven't they? Question 3. One of these presenters was not a BBC newsreader. Which one? A. Richard Whitmore, B. Gordon Honeycomb, or C. Robert Dougal? And the answer to that is B. Gordon Honeycomb, who was a newsreader, but he was on ITN. Question 4. Which of these shows was not an ITV children's show featuring performances from pop musicians of the time? A. Shangalang, B. Get It Together, and C. Cheggers Plays Pop? And the answer was C. Cheggers Plays Pop, as that they were all music shows, but Cheggers Plays Pop was on BBC One. And question 5. Which of these fictional pubs didn't feature in Coronation Street? A. The Rover's Return, B. The Goat and Compasses, or C. The Flying Horse? The answer is B. The Goat and Compasses. And on to round 2, our marathon Fil Rouge round. Question 1. In our recent episode featuring the Sweeney, we mentioned that the pilot episode appeared as a one-off story in the Armchair Theatre series. But what was the one-off pilot called? Well, it's called simply Regan. Question 2. What event in 1977 prompted my parents to get a colour television instead of our black and white set? That was the Queen's Silver Jubilee. Question 3. In February 2024, we look back at the Mr. Men, and who was the original narrator for the Mr. Men? Well, that was the incomparable Arthur Lowe. Question 4. Why did I miss all the television around Christmas in 1976? Well, very sadly, I was ill in bed with glandular fever, so missed the lot. And question 5. Which very popular comedy show of the 1980s was inspired by the rather grim Secret Army? Well, it was Allo Allo. And on to our Name That Tune round, going back to 1973. The first one, as I say, it was pretty obvious, is Barnaby the Bear. Question 2. The Last of the Summer Wine, which began in 1973 and inexplicably, in my opinion, was on for about 100 years after that. Some of your thoughts may differ on that. Question 3, and we need to get this one right, was Inigo Pipkin, which was the first series that then became Pipkins after the death of the actor who played Inigo Pipkin. So Inigo Pipkin is the only acceptable answer for this one. Question 4, that's the theme tune to Hickory House, if you remember that one, with the same guy who was on Picture Box, whose name Alan something or other, whose name I just can't quite forget, who ultimately turned up as a drug addict in Brookside, if you remember. And question 5, reasonably straightforward one, I think, for many of you. This was The Streets of San Francisco with Carl Malden and the young Michael Douglas. And then on to our TV Times round. Question 1, who ate blue string pudding? It was the Clangers, of course. In the US TV show CHIPS, what does CHIPS stand for? And that's the California Highway Patrol. Question 3, which popular TV character's catchphrase was Magic R. Morris? It was Selwyn Froggatt, normally delivered with sticking his thumbs up in the air as well. And question 4, who played the title roles in Macmillan and Wife? That was Rock Hudson and Susan St. James, which I famously got wrong in an earlier episode of the podcast. And finally, still on the detective theme for question 5, who played the insurance agent with a crime-solving sideline in Banachek? And that was George Peppard. So how did you do? Is it extra Scooby snacks for you? Or are you crawling around like Velma looking for your broken glasses? Whichever it is, I hope you've enjoyed this week's quiz. So that's it for today. Don't forget to like, rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts. And tell your friends about us. So take care, look after each other, and join me again soon for more from My 70s TV Childhood and the My 70s TV Childhood Quiz.